Hey guys, it's me again, Fun on Search here. Unfortunately, one of our members is not available, but we do have a special guest that will help us out with two subject matters. But I'm still here with Evdawg and Tobs26.
Hello, people.
How are we doing today?
Hey, all you people.
Hey, all you people.
Back for another
Listen to me.
Okay, alright, stop. We don't want to get sued by Viacom or
Yeah, you're right.
Nickelodeon.
It seems so well.
Anyways, Justus Podcast is here for the second episode, and we're going to be talking about Tenet, the New Mutants, Superman Man of Tomorrow, and cartoon creator allegations. So,
My favorite.
yeah, that's great. Now, let's start off with a review the most logical way. A movie that's been garnering a lot of attention that deserves it, rightfully so. And that movie is Mulan. Of course, I'm talking about Tenet.
Wait, it wasn't Mulan?
Yeah, fuck Mulan. Tenet is, well, a little confusing for some of us, but it's quite honestly good. I mean, great to see a movie after God knows how long since the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, you know. Memento is a film that's essentially backwards, and then there's Inception, which I don't think I need to describe. Everyone knows that.
It's a movie inside a movie inside a movie inside a movie, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, it's nice for me. I always feel like nowadays have just become mostly blockbusters, and there's no real like original ideas. So
Yeah.
it is an original idea, and it was really cool to watch, but they gotta work on the explanation, or I don't know if that's part of the movie, but I was lost throughout.
I guess it's just up to interpretation. I mean, it's like, I don't know, with Christopher Nolan movies, with like the exception of maybe Batman,
Yeah.
he basically, you know, is good with taking most ordinary concepts, like, you know, this is a spy movie, taking a spy movie and sprinkling in some sci-fi, in this case, time travel.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
twisting things up, but in a good way.
You're going into people's dreams.
Yeah, you're going into people's dreams. You know, the list goes on and on.
With this now, since it is time travel, it is hard to keep track of everything that happens.
Yeah, you gotta
It is.
you gotta make sure that you're
It is
super
true.
awake with that, because you don't want to miss out on any of the more important details. I mean, this isn't like an Easter egg video. This is an actual movie where people need to keep their eyes peeled for anything that goes on in the plot.
Yeah, much like Inception, it's like you got to be paying attention the whole time. It expects you to pay attention. Otherwise, you're probably going to walk out confused, you know, if you're not confused enough already, considering all the shit that goes on.
I sort of felt like that when I left the theater because, you know, part of me felt that maybe there was like some moments where I blinked and I might have missed something. Not like an Easter egg, but mostly something that involved with the film. But maybe a rewatch will happen. Not right now, of course, because I got other things to focus on with school and whatnot. But I'll do a very soon rewatch.
Yeah,
And very
like I
soon.
said, I had the issue as well with the music in the background, or just the bass. Sometimes it was so loud, and it literally went
That's just
over
me.
speaking. Like, I couldn't hear what they were saying sometimes. Now, I don't know if that was just the theater, or that's the way he wanted it, but I still feel like I can't really judge it off of a first
Yeah, that was
watch, 'cause
intentional. It was either probably like Christopher Nolan telling people, okay, guys, there's music. It sounds cool, but you got to pay attention to the dialogue and pay attention good before you get lost.
Because
I will say this, it felt like, you know, with how loud the theater was, it's almost like, you know, because theaters have been closed for so long, they just, I don't know, just weren't, you know, ready to adjust the volume appropriately
They were
for
dusty.
movies.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
the bass was very loud. It was ridiculous.
Oh my god, it was,
I don't know if you...
honestly, it rivaled concerts.
Yeah,
At least
like
it wasn't
fire-
like ear rape, Blair
the
rape
fire
levels
truck
of
scene on the highway.
loud.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
That
oh
was
wow. What a
ridiculous.
cool
It
scene,
was
but
so loud. But I will say this about the movie. Beautiful to watch.
Very beautiful.
Even though didn't really understand the plot super much, but you can tell it's all special effects. And it's very little CGI. Like, they went out and did all these things. They crashed a plane into that place.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Boeing is
it's like
747.
like you gotta have like big guts for that. You gotta have like big dick energy for that sort of thing, because
Nolan said that it was less expensive to do that than to make that in CGI. So
Really?
kind of crazy too. Like,
but
you gotta think outside the box,
Hey, I
not
will
just
say
the budget,
this,
but also
I'm
creativity.
curious how they filmed it, considering how many of the scenes are backwards, and then they come back to it, and the previous scene is backwards.
I think they just like literally took those scenes they filmed and then just reversed them in editing or something.
Right, like when you first see, like, of course, you see the car driving backwards, you could say that's a stunt, but like, when you see the rolled over car on the highway, like, it does, it's going all in reverse, and then it's back on its wheels again.
Exactly. We saw it flip one time, and then when they go into the inversion, then you see it like flip back and then back to driving on the road.
Yeah.
Very cool what he did with it. I will say that. How he
It's
inverted the people.
very seamless too, because most of the time it's sort of hard to make it look like it's natural, because certain times you might find like sparks from an explosion flying around to a different direction, but here works quite well.
And not to mention, like, when it comes to
with all this inversion, it's like now the people in this in the final battle that they have, which I just found out actually is why the movie's named Tenet, because both of them have 10 minutes on their watches. There's the red team and the blue team, and Tenet is 10 spelled forwards, but also 10 spelled backwards.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's
where
Tenet
Sort of
comes
like
from.
saying race car in reverse is the same as race car.
Yeah. That's right, Lightning.
Ka-chow!
It is just like, again, the movie itself, great special effects. The action was very cool to watch. It was cool to see things blow up and then be put back together.
Yes.
Where the wall exploded, but then it's like someone was behind the wall and then the wall rebuilt itself and then he got trapped in the wall. It's like,
that was a cool scene.
It's ridiculous.
I
can't wait to see like the behind the scenes though at some point.
I was gonna say this about the effects. I like how he does little to no CG, because one of the I'm gonna assume the same was true for you guys. One of the trailers that played before the movie was for that new Bond movie, No Time to Die, and you see all these Land Rover Defenders get crashed, and it's like it's so obviously CG. Like it's so
it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel.
It's
obvious it is, and
feels a little off.
And then you see Tenet, and it actually looks like they flipped the car.
Better it looks. Like
oh my god, yes.
That was all. They must have done that. Like how they had it sequestered between two vehicles on each side and then two on the front. That was one of my favorite scenes, I think.
Yeah, that had to have been some training, because like I work in tight spaces currently, where I gotta drive in tight spaces, and it's a nail biter.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you don't want to scrape anything.
I can't imagine doing that at high speed.
You don't want to scrape anything in your vehicle, nor do we want to like get someone injured in the process. I mean, that's why
No.
That's why I once told my my colleagues yesterday that I want to drive in an empty highway before I drive in like tighter roads.
Yeah.
Completely.
But back to the movie, without getting off topic.
What about the stunt team? How was that for the movie? I mean, that's something I'm curious about.
So,
the stunts.
Oh, the stunt.
Yeah.
It was done well, because there's one scene where they're fighting, and it's like one guy is inverted. So, okay, let's see how we're gonna say that. It means like he's gone forward in time and has already had this fight with this one guy. So like he knows all the moves this guy's gonna do, but it looks like he's in reverse while he's fighting another guy in forward time, if that makes sense.
Holy fuck.
It makes more sense when you watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
but I also want to give like major props to these stunts. Like, they certainly did as much as they can to make it all seamless, as I mentioned, because
yeah.
stunts don't get much recognition, especially in recent times where they got to do a lot more of the dirty shit that your actors can't do because they're so valuable.
I'll never forget the behind the scenes for Inception when it came to rotating room with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character and how they pulled it off. It was so
That's still
cool how they were able to do that.
Yeah, like so
cool
trippy, yet it works very well.
Oh yeah.
It works so well. I don't know. It's like with this movie, there was a bunch of not as much stunts Inception, but like bigger action moments, I would say.
Yeah.
Now, it makes sense given like the scope of the film's story itself being bigger than what we got with Inception.
Exactly.
Yeah, just because it's like Inception needs to a little slower just because of how much is going on.
Yeah. It's again, it's hard to follow too. There's a lot of timelines. There's the characters themselves are, I don't know. I thought Robert Pattinson, I thought, did a really good job. Same with John David Washington, and honestly, they all did a good job. It's hard to sell because, like, literally the main character's name is just the protagonist.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like hard to like he was like, the guy's a good actor, so it's like, all right, I can follow you. I like you.
Yeah, major props to him.
But I don't know. And then you got Kenneth Branagh's Russian villain, and he was definitely good too. It's just I don't really understand his motivations. I don't get why he wanted to do what he did. There's still so many questions.
Russian, they get bored real easily.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're always trying to take over the world in movies, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to destroy it, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be a bit easier to like see, like trying to have him like trick the mind or like test the minds of our protagonist in some ways without just saying, "Oh, I want to take over the world" and all that sort of thing.
I don't know. What I heard is that the wife, she was a really good character. Actually, I thought she was.
Yeah.
I was really shocked by her because I didn't really know who she was as an actress, but I thought she did a really good job.
I'm glad they didn't have her be the love interest of anyone.
Right? Like she was her own. That's what Christopher Nolan.
Like they could have been seen from like a mile away, but thankfully it was not. I mean, these guys know how to play outside the box, or like think outside the box rather.
It's just like there were moments in the movie where it was like, oh, that's what this was, and it was like it didn't hit for me because I was so confused about other things. It's hard to like go on with a movie when there's parts you don't understand, and it's like, all right, I just have to forget about those and like keep going, or else I'm gonna fall even farther behind.
Yeah,
and that's what I had to do for this movie, but it didn't help either way because I was still like, wait, what? By the end, because the end, it's like, oh, here's all your questions answered, but it was like, wait, what? Really? But
yeah, I can relate to that. Like, thankfully, there's a chance we might see the movie again, and we could be able to like get a better understanding of what goes on, because I too am sort of confused with what's going on with the film itself. And of course, I want to see like the behind the scenes and give a lot of credit to the stunts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, movie looked great. I can't comment on the plot and story really because I'm still so confused.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's one of those directors whose movies you got to see more than once to get a little bit of a grip on.
But it's state of the world right now. I mean, not super smart to get the movies.
He's been compared to Stanley Kubrick so many times, and there is some reasons why. I don't see it completely yet, but there are clear reasons why. His technical achievements for at least this century is mind-blowing. So I totally get it.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean,
that, you can
pretty
totally
much.
Family.
I remember this one scene in Dunkirk where there's like a lineal explosion, and you see the protagonist there, like all scared. And it was just so well done, and I can't believe it was mostly practical. And then how they changed to a dummy, apparently. I don't know, I'm just, hypothesizing.
The man, I mean, even in The Dark Knight, with that whole truck flipping, that, like, they did that.
I
18-wheeler. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I actually had a friend that I went to school with. His dad worked in downtown Chicago, and they did that like in the middle of the night. And he was in his work building while they were filming that, and he got to see them flip the truck.
That's
wow.
That is sick, yeah.
I wish I was there. And then again, I was like too young at that time. Like, we were all fairly young at that time, pretty sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I was 13 at the time, so...
Yeah, Jesus.
I'm still upset that I never got to see... Like, not only am I upset that I can't see any, like, the Transformers films in downtown Chicago, but I was also upset that I can't even see a filming scene in The Dark Knight. Or BVS, because I think Batman v Superman was filmed in Chicago in some areas.
Yes, it was.
Like,
Chicago was used for Gotham.
Yeah.
And you can tell in many shots, like when you see the skyline or when Harvey Dent is being transported by the Gotham police and the Joker attacks.
Yeah, but I also believe that, like, in BVS, Chicago was one of the filming locations. Like, I recognize near the end of the film when Superman dies, one of the scenes was an empty road in downtown before it cuts to, I believe,
I think it was in BVS where you see the bean.
Man of Steel as well?
Yes, Man of Steel was... Yeah, Metropolis was also...
Yeah, that was Chicago, right?
Yeah, that was Chicago.
Damn it. I missed out more films that were filmed in my city.
Yeah.
But what did I see instead? The filming of some series called Empire, I think it was. But does anyone know Empire?
The one with Jussie Smollett.
Yeah, Taraji P. Henson.
Has anyone even seen that?
I never watched it. So I
can't say anything about it either. But to wrap up, it's great to see Tenet. There's certain things I want to understand more of, but hey, that's the best thing about rewatching movies, especially when they come out on home video. The fact that I can't see it in theaters again right now because I don't want to have any issues with finances. Basically, I got to focus on school finances. Thankfully, I can get more stuff with gift cards, but I don't know. I just hope that my school cooperates with me because online classes are a bitch to repay, and that's enough of my own life. Tenet's great. If you haven't seen it yet, and you're willing to go into the theaters while being safe still, definitely do it. Though I will say certain cities are showing Tenet. I know Chicago is because I saw an advertisement that was personalized for that.
Yeah, I think a lot of theaters are starting to open up again.
Yeah, the theater over here was too.
Wow.
Every advertisement of Tenet 64 is personalized.
One thing also I wanted to say, the score of Tenet was Junkie XL. He's doing Snyder Cut.
Yes.
So, wow. Usually it's Hans Zimmer who does Nolan movies, but he was doing the new Dune movie.
Oh, I see.
Remember that.
There's I saw an ad for.
Yeah, the trailer just...
They're both so good. I mean, sure, it might be a little hard to tell who is who, but I guess that's the positive thing of having both of them together. I mean, I think Like, I know they were both together in Batman v Superman, but weren't they together in other films as well before then?
Yeah, they've done a good amount together. He did part of Man of Steel too. He did.
He did.
Yeah, him. Always they collabed a good amount. I feel like definitely for BVS.
Like, it's great to see that Junkie XL has learned a lot from the Master.
Exactly. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
Got plenty.
it's like his student, his disciple. It's so cool.
Now, if only
Time
we
to
got
take
Steve
that master
Jablonsky.
class.
Now, if only we got Steve Jablonsky and maybe John Williams, and they like made a huge epic tune or something. I don't know. It's gonna be a big mess. I mean, John Williams has a specific style that sort of clashes with the other guys, unless he does the Star Wars prequel music, which is more intense.
Yeah. So everyone's not old as shit.
And that pretty much covers Tenet.
Yeah. I've said that.
Danny Elfman would have done it better.
I was thinking of Danny Elfman, funny enough.
No.
Who doesn't?
I mean, I love Danny Elfman for like the Spider-Man music, and his Batman music was pretty
That's
good too.
it.
But
Yeah,
I gotta admit that his comment on like the
the
Batman theme, that there's only one Batman theme, is sort of
big tone though. Sorry, Danny.
like, I sort of felt upset when he said that there's only one Batman theme when he was doing Justice, because like Nolan's Batman theme was like good as well. And Batfleck's, it's a little more anonymous, but it fits the tone of his character. Next up, we're going to be talking about New Mutants, a film that has been pretty much everyone's maybe sort of kind of top 10 most wanted. I have no idea, because New Mutants was a movie that was supposed to come out in 2018 or 2019, but then it was pushed back because Disney bought Fox, and then there was more pushbacks to make room for other Disney movies. And ironically, I think a 2019 release was possible, but Disney wanted one X-Men movie, that being Dark Phoenix. But it was perfectly fine to have 3 MCU movies. I mean, yes, one of them was from Sony, but still. And yeah, this movie is not worth the wait.
All right, you get the first trailer from this movie way back when it was released, and then God knows what happened with the production. But from that trailer, I have no idea what this movie was, because that is a completely different trailer from what this movie turned out to be. It's just, the characters are just thrown in there. It's like each of them have done one bad thing, and then that's why you're supposed to feel for them and make you more empathetic towards them. Let's see. One kid burned his girlfriend. One girl was taken out of her really religious village because she can turn into a wolf, and so they thought she was like the spawn of the devil or whatever.
Wow.
Is this from the 1600s?
It's ridiculous. It's just so bad.
I mean, you mentioned something about like werewolves. How often is it? How often do you ever see like female werewolves?
Yeah, even when she turned, it was so.
First time I saw a female werewolf was an episode of Goosebumps. So
yeah.
Wow. Maybe the Goosebumps series is connected to the X-Men series.
This one girl named Danny, and you find out in the movie she's the reason why all this weird shit is happening in the place. Her power, like, amplifies people's fears, and then they come to life, and kind of like It and Pennywise a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But that's where you get the Krueger island creatures from. That's the girl who can jump into portals. That's her fear. And so the doctor is like saying, oh, okay, you guys are all being protected here for your own good. But really, she's working for the Essex Corporation, which
is run by Mr. Sinister. I was going to call him Mr. Finister, but no.
And I know what we're going to do today.
The woman working for Mr. Sinister doesn't have the best interest for the kids. She actually turn them into weapons. So, shocking she was the bad guy. But it's just the dialogue was so bad. Like, literally, let me tell. All right, I literally wrote it down. So,
Oh boy, here we go, everybody.
Oh boy.
New Mutants dialogue. Here we go, I guess.
The wolf has a branding of a W on her back because that's what the religious people did to her. I don't remember what the W stands for, if I'm being honest. But
Probably not win, and that's certainly not like the branding.
Danny,
yes.
She says, "Oh, that's some cool body art."
Oh God.
When it's clearly a branding and not a tattoo. It's just like stupid shit like that. They're one turn into fire, and then at the end he goes all flame on like Human Torch, and then we have the kicker in. And look, now he's naked. He picks up a piece of wood to cover his private area. It's
amusing.
Wow.
It's kind of funny too. And then you mentioned Human Torch because the 2005 Fantastic Four movie had a scene where the Human Torch, Johnny Blaze,
literally it was
Johnny
just
Storm
like
rather.
that.
I call him Johnny Blaze. Johnny Storm. He was like he had like a coat on him in one scene where he was like, "Hey, fashion have a towel." When
Yeah,
talking to,
it was
a girl.
Yeah, I heard there were more than one ripoff, like jokes that were completely taken from other shows or movies. I heard that.
It was just.
They expected to make a trilogy out of this.
I don't.
I think so, but like, how do you make a trilogy out of this?
Thing ever. So the movie starts off with the main character, and her village was destroyed by this unseen creature, and she talks about how some bear or whatever, and apparently there's a demon bear, and that's what she's afraid of. And so the big demon bear comes at the end, kills the doctor who's been fucking with the kids the entire movie, and then she dies. But then all the kids use their powers to fight the demon bear to no avail. And then the girl
bear pig,
and
Well, sort of like in Logan when the kids were going after the guys who were trying to detain them at the end of the movie.
Yeah, exactly, but not nearly as good as Logan.
Yeah, there's like actual intensity in that scene. But let's not talk about Logan too much as I want to. We'll have to wait for later.
That's the movie I would want to talk about.
Yeah, hold your horses, guys. We'll get to it in a bit.
It was just literally the ending. It's like she's fighting this giant-ass demon bear. It's just another stupid-ass CGI fight. And then wakes up from being knocked out. And then she, is like, "No, I control you, bear." And then the bear just calms down and disappears.
Woo!
Why isn't that done beforehand?
That was easy.
That was easy.
Who was keeping the kids in through a force shield around the whatever, the asylum, I guess I'll call it.
Sure, why not?
The force shields are gone, and then they just walk out the front door, out of the gate, and then that's the end of the movie.
I remember this being touted as oh my God, it's a superhero horror movie. How is it as a horror movie since we've already established that it fails as a superhero movie?
All right, let's go into this.
There's one scene where she's wants to get out and she can't because of the force fields, and she goes up the clock tower ready to jump and kill herself, and one of the girls, the wolf girl, she's like, "Oh, I don't think you should do that," and she's like, "Why? It'll be painless." And I was like, well, you might feel something.
I saw this in a movie with some kid with spider powers and his blonde girlfriend, a green dude.
It's just, I barely know any of their names. It's just, it was so bad.
I think the only names I can recognize are
X-Men from 20 years ago establish and introduce an audience to a whole bunch of characters 20 years ago, 20 flipping years ago, before 9/11 even happened.
Yeah.
Yet this crap gets put out.
I think the thing is X-Men, you recognize the main characters of X-Men because even if you're not like into the series in general, you might know them by their powers. Like, oh, there's a guy that has the claws. He's Wolverine. There's a guy that shoots laser eyes. He's Cyclops. There's a guy that has ice powers. He's Iceman. There's a girl that controls weather. Her name is Storm. Like, their powers make them unique. Where's the uniqueness with these characters? In fact, I think for that, like, I know people.
It's like you want to know the characters, the comics, or you don't.
Like, I'm not expecting comic accuracy. I just want these characters to be unique. Like, I want to remember them for who they are, not so much for their flashy costumes. That's optional.
I'll say, all right, if I ranked it out of 10 stars, it'd be 2 out of 10. That's what I ranked it as.
And just to end this topic off real quick,
there was nothing good. I hated all the characters. The CGI was garbage. It's just, I don't know why it took so long for them to make this movie. Because I thought it was like they didn't have the story yet and they were making it better. But to me, it seems like they had a story and it was too dark. And kind of what they did with Justice League, like they changed it and made it worse. And Suicide Squad as well.
And that's where we got Justice.
Exactly. You get you get the new whatever it'll be called now. I wonder if there's a New Mutants cut out there.
I don't know at this point. All I can say is the fact that, like,
honestly, we still have yet to get the Josh Trank cut of Fan Four Stick. So honestly, I doubt it.
Yeah,
but like personally, like after getting a great movie with Logan, it sucks that the X-Men series hasn't been as good as it used to be. I mean, we got stuff like Deadpool 2, which, like I said, trying to be a little more family-friendly, even though we got the PG-13 version months later. Dark Phoenix, which was trying to be cool, but at the same time, it was not really going for what it was going for. And then we get to this.
Yeah, I think we peaked with Logan. I feel like
if you're gonna watch the X-Men series, just watch all the ones that we got before Logan, and then end the series with Logan. I mean,
skip X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, you can skip the ones too. Although it's not as bad as New Mutants, I'll say that.
Some people like it, actually. I don't, but some people do.
It's not my favorite movie, but yeah, it's better than New Mutants.
Superman, Man of Tomorrow.
Yes.
I got something to say about this one.
Yeah, me too. But it's mostly disappointment.
I agreed with you a lot when I asked you how your thoughts were, but I don't know. It was just like a Superman movie. I think like it was his origin, kind of, and the best take origin, but it wasn't awful. I was surprised.
It was fine. It was just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the Superman I would have liked to see as well. I thought, I don't know. I'm so used to now. I don't know.
I mostly believe that nowadays those animated movies are very mediocre. When I thought they were actually gonna, push the limits, let's say, with these projects, because they had a lot of potential and they had some tools that live action doesn't have.
Yeah,
so it frustrates me a lot to see that it goes to this route so empty.
I also think I just thought it was going to be something else. Like I thought it was going to be the start of the new DC animated movie universe, but it was clearly not. It was just its own
sequel. It was so hollow. I mean, just
hollow. Like it is weird that they decided to do that as an animated movie. You'd think they would go for one of the better storylines, like they have been in the past. But
it just feels so evergreen in a way. And when I say evergreen, I'm thinking like recyclable. It feels like it's been there, done that. It feels like it's something that you can use without specific branding. Yeah, sort of like using a term for specific Transformers designs, which you might see as toys in Walgreens.
Yeah.
It was a good movie, I'd say, but definitely not like I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Also, the animation style makes me think of Archer in a way. I mean, not exactly like Archer. I mean, at least Archer was more rigid.
I can see the Archer comparisons.
Like,
I see
like it's not like
Archer is very stiff.
The lines aren't as thick, honestly.
This had fluid animation, so that's something that I actually can congratulate.
Also, the lines aren't as thick as they are in Archer.
Animation, actually, a little bit. Like a Alchemist, kind of.
But, like, it wasn't really as, like, thankfully the animation wasn't as on the same level as something like Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures, where it looked too blobby.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have seen that before at some point, maybe in 2018, because I've seen it and I thought it was not that great.
I don't know. I'm more, again, I loved the animation from, like, Apocalypse War and Flashpoint Paradox and all those ones. Probably more than this one, but I mean, I get why they're switching it up, but it was just a normal Superman story. It reminded me of like Wonder Woman Bloodlines, but I liked Bloodlines better.
It made me think of like something you'd find on a YouTube channel for like the DC Kids section, where except that it's a little more deep in story. Like
me of Superman the Animated Series episode, and it was just like an arc of episodes.
But that series had more uniqueness to it. I mean, the art style for made by Bruce Timm worked well for that series, and it felt distinct, whereas this felt more like evergreen, as I mentioned. Like they took the artwork. It's like made like specific artwork for uniquely labeled Superman products, like what you'd find on birthday cards or on bouncy balls.
Yeah.
And I believe there's also a scene where Superman was at one point naked, and I think that was from a screen cap that Possum Reviews shared. It said, "Oh, the Flash restarted the universe. We can see Superman's ass."
It was justified. It wasn't forced. It was fine. I wouldn't criticize that. It was okay.
It was kind of funny, though. I mean,
it is funny.
With flying, and then how he was upside down, like facing Lobo, and he was naked. I was like, all right, is he showing off here? What's going on?
We just jumped into an episode of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, it definitely fits. Although Harley Quinn had like specific animation
Why
style.
are you showing me your penis?
Yeah. Lobo, I thought was great. He was probably my favorite.
Yeah, Lobo was the best character. No competition at all. He was the best.
Just like torturing Lois with like fucking around with her in his cell. That was great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I gotta say, I didn't. The guy who voiced Lex Luthor, I didn't hate him either. He is the guy who plays Spock in the new Star Trek movies.
Yeah, pretty good.
Zachary Quinto, I believe.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, he
was evil Spock the whole time.
Oh shit!
But
I mean, given how the Star Trek series hasn't gotten much interest, makes sense that he'd go evil in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't love what they did with Luthor either in this movie. If I'm being honest. It was just not Luthor for me.
Very forgettable.
And what about Martian Manhunter and Parasites?
Martian Manhunter, I was all right with him. I felt like he kind of got underutilized. Like he literally gets burned alive in one scene, and I was like, holy shit, they did not just kill him.
Christ.
Later on,
Point out Fire's his weakness.
But it didn't make sense. Why would they do that? And then to just explain it, but it's it's such an empty explanation. And I liked what they were gonna do with Parasite up until the end when it felt again so empty.
Yeah, right? It's like he just was talking to him, and I was like, oh, are they really gonna do this route where he's gonna be able to change him? And then I don't even get what happened in the end with Parasite. Like, did what Super said hit him, and so he saved? Like, was he just trying to get more power from the plant, or was he like trying to save people? Because it's like the only way to beat him is give him enough power to where he's like overloads.
Yep.
That was my understanding of his character.
Makes me think of the 2011 Green Lantern movie.
Yeah, all I have to say is that it felt like a fan fiction at times, and also this Superman has trunks, so that basically makes it the best Superman ever. That's it.
Gotta have your underwear out like Fanboy and Chum Chum.
Strong with underwear on the outside. Cowards.
But yeah, that was something.
Again, it was an origin movie. Like, Superman was wicked young. He was just starting out being Superman. So I don't think you can just... It's a little hard from the Superman we know as well from the already animated movies and just movies in general. But I don't know. It wasn't... I wouldn't watch it again. But it wasn't either. I'll say that. Like, if
it's not off.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I think that's fair.
Same.
Yeah. Personally, I just think that it's like something I'd see once, and I'd watch more interesting Superman media like the Fleischer cartoons, the animated series.
Yeah, if I'm watching Superman,
I'd also watch Man of Steel as well as BVS. Superman's involvement in some of the other animated films before this one.
It's like they wanted him a lot of character development in this movie, but I feel like it didn't work. I feel like they just nailed it. I thought
it was always cut short. Like we were gonna open a door for a new plotline, and it always cut short, and it ended there. That's it.
And finally, the next topic we'll be talking about is one that might seem like a bit of a sore thumb in the thumbnail, pun intended. Allegations regarding cartoon creators. Now, if you've seen the thumbnail, you might be thinking, oh, cool, a Tenet review by these guys? That's pretty cool. New Mutants. So I always want to hear about New Mutants. Oh, this Superman movie is kind of interesting. I wonder what they think. Wait, who are these guys supposed to be? And why is one of them a girl? And yeah. Yeah, cartoon creator allegations. Might seem like a bit of an out-of-left-field conversation, but let's dive in. Why do they get allegations from time to time?
I guess it's because, some are times where people are trying to knock them down a peg, and it's like when you've got a lot of money, there are typically people that will sue you left and right. At the same time, it's like it's only ever come out as allegations. There's never like police reports filed, Now, could they be true? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's definitely a possibility of them being true, but at the same time, okay, I'll give you this. I do kind of believe the Dan Schneider one because look at the guy.
Yeah.
He looks like he would have Chris Hansen walk in on him.
Why don't you take a seat right there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you or did you not tell this young girl that you want to see pictures of her feet?
Well, that man, he's got a love for the feet,
Have you guys heard about the theory that this? I think the daughter of Jamie Lee Spears is like the daughter also from Dan Schneider. Have you ever heard that theory?
I have heard that one. Yes.
I don't know. I find it serious.
That's pretty messed up if it is somehow true. Although, come on, she's had to have done a paternity test.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well,
there's no way.
Coincidentally, her boyfriend at the time leaves her, and the production of Zoe 101 is canceled. So there are many hints. There are a lot of hints that could actually validate the theory.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's just the thing is, we'd have to get more evidence, and it's the kind of evidence that nobody here would ever get access to.
Nope.
Yeah, especially considering most of this stuff has been cut off from most people. Like they always want to make sure that no one mentions a word, probably paying these individuals to not speak up about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I mean, I read about the Ren and Stimpy creator.
Okay.
Yeah, coincidentally, we made an episode regarding Ren and Stimpy. Go check that out if you want to, fellas. Link in the description.
it's just surprise. I mean, these guys are in this state of power where they can use that against these women. I mean, it talks about how one girl, she was underage and she emailed him about wanting to become an animator and get into all this stuff, and then he emails her back and is like giving her all this advice and being like, oh, you can so do this. He's valuing her dream, like giving her, what's the friggin' word? I don't know, but
I guess he's like taking advantage of her in a way.
He's taking advantage of her, but also like telling her she'll be able to do it. He's giving her the confidence she needs to go ahead and do it. Because although this guy who so many people look up to and is like, oh, he's the creator of this amazing show, like, and then you find out all this shit about him and that there's this whole other side, and it's just interesting that they can, that with them in this situation, they can use that to their advantage in order to get these things.
Yeah, and it kind of makes, that's how I feel with
there are some things that are true about John K. Like, he's horrible when it comes to deadlines, and when you're running a show on a network channel, you gotta meet deadlines.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're screwed.
I guess that's what happens when you feel a lot more confident with who you are, and not feeling too, or when you tend to like look down upon other people just because they don't have the same role as you do in some ways.
It's just interesting. It's like I'm sure it's upsetting too to know that like this stuff happens and that people take advantage of their power when they're in these situations. But I mean, hey, that's the way
there's some people that their egos get fed so easily. They become monsters in their production.
Exactly.
And the thing is that with some people, it's not even like prominent that they have like skeletons in their closet. I mean, John Lasseter is an example because, I mean, I respect a guy for making a lot of stuff for Pixar. I mean, I'm the guy that grew up with Toy Story. If you ask me, Woody and Buzz are my preferred mascots, even over Mickey and Donald, honestly. Over Winnie and Pooh.
Cool.
And Goofy. And I know for a fact that, Ernie, you two are a Toy Story fan.
I love Toy Story. It's not even funny.
Yeah. In fact, we went to see the movie Toy Story 4 last year, which was a great experience. Honestly, like looking back at Toy Story 4, not as good as I thought, but still worthwhile. But regarding John Lasseter, it's like heartbreaking in a way because like he made your favorite stuff. And in the interviews...
Exactly, and it's so heartbreaking.
Like in the interviews, like he seemed like a guy that was genuine with his stuff. I mean, he said stuff like, oh, I want to like make a story. We didn't want to just like make bragging rights by making the first computer animated movie. And while they show off the stuff that happens behind the scenes, I still enjoy hearing him talk about what it's like to make the characters interesting.
It's just, I mean, it's the same thing with all the actors who were, like, just, you find out that this is, like, part of them, and, like, they have this amazing gift and talent, either it being animating and creating these things or acting, and then they do shit like this, and it, I don't know. It's hard to hear about
it's like
stuff
more likely to ruin your childhood more than all the quote unquote clickbait stuff that says, "Oh, here's top 10 things that ruin your childhood." Because stuff like that is more likely to ruin your childhood than some sort of shitty fan art.
Exactly.
Oh yes.
It's like you find out that this person who you've looked up to this entire time, and then you find out, oh, holy shit, they disguised themselves so well because that is not the person I thought they were. And turns out they're a completely different person.
Yep.
Yeah. I also...
John K., the girl, Katie Rice, I think, she said, I know what everybody's going to say. Why didn't you just leave? Because she got onto him about her kind of flirting with him and stuff. But she said, well, because this asshole told me when I was 13 that I was special and I don't have any self-esteem, so I believed it. So just by someone in that position of power telling someone with no self-esteem that they're special can make a huge difference on this person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got him right there.
And then there you go. Now they have them in their clutches almost. They are in the position of power. Now this person is also a part of their... It's
like pretty manipulative.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Manipulative behavior.
It just sucks.
I also think that we're in a period of time that all these studios need to recycle their people, let's say, because it's mostly old guys around their 70s that are old-mannered, let's say, and they keep doing whatever they want. I think we need to make a reboot.
But it seems that we're going to make sure everyone is still talented. We don't want we want people that are as good as they are talented. I mean, we don't want people to make like same sort of shit.
We don't want the Rick and Morty writers' room.
Hey Morty, guess what? I just killed. Hey Morty, guess what? I just kicked Dan Snyder and I threw him into the blender and killed him in the process.
Why'd you kill him, Rick?
Because I can, Morty. Like, it's even interesting too. Like, there's like younger individuals. Like, since you mentioned older guys, they're caught up with this sort of thing. Like, there's even younger guys out there that get caught as well. I think the people behind Steven Universe and the Loud House are examples.
Yeah.
Yes,
I saw that.
Yeah, I think it was the Loud House. Steven Universe is pretty clean, but their fan base is the toxic one.
It's you guys like also think just with it being these animators and writers and not actors and directors, they're not really in the spotlight as much.
No.
It almost gives them more this awful
leeway.
Like more leeway. Like, lets them get away with stuff more often, and more importantly, they're not likely to be caught.
Or hid in the shadows, kind of. So less of this stuff goes unnoticed. That's why Dan Snyder, come on. How long did it take for that to catch on?
Too long.
Too long, exactly. The man had way too many shows. And now if you go back, it's like, okay, I can see some things now.
D-Man, it's actually pretty active on Instagram yet, and I'm surprised about that.
Really?
Yeah, I checked it out because, I was joking and I kind of tagged him in...
Oh, yeah, you did, in the
and
post.
then I talked to him, and it turns out he posts pretty frequently, and about Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, like it's like he swept it under the rug. It's like he said, okay, guys, I messed up. I hope you still love me. And they say, okay. And they just move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I think that's also something that Julia Vickerman had. Who, if you don't know, Julia Vickerman is one of the writers for a specific Powerpuff Girls reboot episode.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think I heard a bit about that.
Fill us in on that, Ernie.
Sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, I'll help you on it a bit.
Which one was she again?
There was an episode in the Powerpuff Girls reboot where a panda was given a spotlight.
Oh God, that one.
Yeah,
I know with the high panda. Let's party.
Like that panda makes like I don't know why this is like the 2016s.
And at one point, Bubbles is a rave girl, which that's really disturbing since she's underage.
It very much is. I thought all the DeviantArt stuff that he put out was bad, but now we got to deal with this, and it's canon in some capacity.
It's canon.
It's
somehow.
Yep.
Don't worry, the CW is gonna, come out with their very mature reboot of the Powerpuff Girls, where they're older sadder and nothing like the characters that you know and love.
Yawn, probably going to be like the Disney remakes.
Girls show where they're like old and just super emo.
But
They're
like,
wicked violent. Oh my god.
like the point is the fact that
What we beginning.
like the
Yeah.
point, like the point is
Crazy.
like
Bubbles is just losing her shit.
like the point is about the episode is the fact that it got attention by people. Fans hated it, especially the original fans. And I think even some of the fans of the new series didn't like it. And the writer was probably fired, but I think she was called out before or after the episode because I remember her making a post where she was stalking a boy at a playground.
Yes.
No. Oh no. Oh no. No.
Yeah,
Was it 14 or 12?
I don't want to know.
It's
But
so
like the main
awful.
point is the fact that
Okay, it's damn fucked up. Okay, but yeah, and not only that, but this Julia Bicker, man, is still producing shows. Like this new show, the new animated show called 12 Forever that had a pilot. and it was-
Oh god.
Well,
that.
yeah, she's the creator.
Like, how is she getting
Also-
away with this? Like, it is a shame that like there's certain people out there that are like still getting away with this sort of thing, while actual good people that sure made at least one or two bad jokes are being ripped apart. Example being,
Oh yeah, don't you know, man? Words are hurtful.
like
Yeah.
Vic, Vic,
I couldn't say that with a straight
Vic
face.
Monanga. How do you pronounce his name, Ernie?
What's your name?
Vic Magnona.
Mignana.
Vic Mignogna. Like
Mignogna.
people rip him apart for things that like I don't think he's.
Because he's white.
And people like
Basically
stretch out
how
the
it
context.
sums up.
But, like it doesn't make sense by the fact that he like is getting ripped apart, but people swept away the rug,
Yeah,
homophobic slurs at the
casting couch.
casting couch, swept away under the rug, but people are still upset at Vic.
Or, they'll forget how Monica Rial's fiance beat up his ex-wife. But, she'll be quick to say, oh, she's the liar. Believe all women unless they, say something against you. That's not very progressive, Monica.
Nope.
Although with Monica Rial, it's like, if you look at her, over her career, she went from, she's pretty good looking to Fatimus Prime.
Fatimus Prime being Energy Optimist to those that are not aware of the Transformers franchise. But yeah, it sucks that there's a lot of people out there that are getting away with this sort of thing, yet good people are being ripped a new one because of some bad joke being made.
That's what cancel culture. I mean,
Yeah, fuck cancel culture. Me and my homies hate cancel culture.
can't. No one can take a joke anymore. It's just ridiculous.
Of course not.
It's made me not. It's staying off of social media more often now. Like, I don't know. I'm just tired of it. It's like sometimes, yeah, you can take it too far, and then that person can apologize, but for some reason that's still not enough.
Yeah.
Even though
Like,
it wasn't meant to be. It's just anything can trigger a person nowadays, and if it triggers the wrong person, you're fucked.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's also a shame when like
exactly.
people get away with this sort of thing. Like others, meanwhile, are being thrown into the lava of cancellation.
Yeah.
And that is one way to end off this segment. But yeah, and that I feel covers today's episode.
I love you all.
This was fun.
Episode 2,
Over with. And that
boom.
now, guys, we hope to see you in the next episode. We might have a few other people that show up, but for now, we're just glad you're able to join us, Ernie.
I am very glad to have joined too.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure to meet you.
having ya.
Yeah, nice to meet all you guys as well.
And that concludes today's episode. Hope you guys see you next time.